Okay, there we go. Got it. Nice. All right. Yep, back up to that. Cool. Got it. Hello, everyone. Again. Good morning? Yes. Good morning. How are you? Yes, good morning. How's everybody today? Hopefully doing okay. Hopefully everybody's pretty chill today. Good morning. Right. We'll wait for another minute and then we'll go ahead and get started. So is the hype real? I believe it. You know, Monster Hunter is super popular in Japan. Like, really super popular. Like I saw when Monster Hunter was out for like PSP back in the day. Good morning, Issa. Uh, when I saw when Monster Hunter was out for PSP back in the day, where yeah, they would literally like um yeah, they'd play on trains with each other and stuff like that. It is pretty crazy. My juice cup. Juice cup. All right. People are crazy for that game. That's legit. All right. Okay. I think hopefully some other people will trickle in. In any case, okay, let's get started today. Welcome back to Thursday and the week time today. So today, all right, we will be starting off here with Chapter 2. Okay, so we're going to do 2.1, 2.2, and part of 2.3. Seems like a lot. In reality, it won't be. But we'll be talking about those sections here today. Um, before we do that, just as a friendly reminder here for all of you, remember that the test has been posted on my math lab. All right, so it is ready and waiting for you. There are more details on D2L. Again, you'll be given a 3.5 hour time limit. Again, you must submit work for the test. Okay, so there, I have created a Dropbox assignment. So if you go underneath the assignment on the assignment tab on D2L, you'll see chapter one test work, for example. You'll see that there, and you can submit the files that associate with your work for the test. Okay, and yes, you must submit work for the exam. So either scan or take a picture and upload it and send it to me in a file that I can read. Okay, it has to be legible, otherwise, well, it's going to be hard to read. So, um, yeah. Are there any questions about the exam, by the way, before we get started? Some people in the last class had some questions, so want to be sure that I take them before I get started. Hopefully I was a little clear, but still, just in case. No questions? All right. That's fine. Good morning, Rob. How are you? Good. Glad to hear that, my friend. Do you have any questions about the test there, Rob, or are you good? Good morning, Carissa. Good. Okay. Carissa, any questions about the test, or you should have gotten my email as well. So should be all right, I hope. Oh, okay. So if I go to let me show this off here for okay. Oh wow, that works like that? Oh, okay. I learned something new. All right. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the D2L page here for you guys. Alright, so if we go to our classes right here, if you go to the assignments tab right here on the top, and as you see here, chapter 1 test work, you're going to go ahead and submit the chapter 1 test work to me here. Okay? And then after the due date, I'll evaluate it. Alright? Oh, I just asked there, Carissa, if you have any questions about the test. And I hope you got my email. So Alex, does that make sense there about where to hand in the work here for the test? It'll be right there underneath the assignments tab. No problem, my friend. I'm here to help. It might say Dropbox on it, could say assignments. One of those two things. In any case, it'll be there. The homework is due the same day as the test, which is next Tuesday at 11:59. That'll be just chapter 1 though, okay? Cool. Yeah, you have the code, so I think you have the code. So, yeah, you have to enable cookies and stuff. And pop-up. You need to turn off pop-up blockers and any ad blockers. Make sure you also have the right login information. If you're having issues, let me know, okay? Ooh, mango juice. Man, that's good. Alright. Let me know if you're having issues later on today, Carissa. Just make sure you're using your login information and stuff, so. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get started here then with this stuff here, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so today, like I said, we're going over the start of chapter 2. Yeah, no problem. We're going to go over the start of chapter 2, which is talking about fractions. Okay, so Yes, we are learning new material today. We're talking about fractions here today in chapter 2. Okay, so I know most of you don't like fractions. I know fractions aren't very fun, but we're going to talk about fractions here, and talk about some of the basics behind, we're going to kind of set it up where we're going to be able to use fractions and work with them in some form or capacity. So we're going to go ahead and look at the basics here in this first section. So in section 2.1, so let's take a look at, let's take a look here. So we're going to talk about, again, what are we going to be doing in this section? Again, we're going to be identifying the parts of the fraction, talk about what numerator and denominator are, and proper and improper fractions here in this particular section. All right, so what does that look like here? Let's talk about first things first. Let's look at the basics of a fraction. Okay, so the basics of a fraction are going to be, well, defining a fraction here. A fraction here is basically a part of a whole. How many questions on the test? Do the practice test. You'll see how many questions be on the test. But to answer your question now, that'd be 30. So, alright, so what does a fraction mean? A fraction means a part of a whole. So for example, if we have a pizza and we take a slice of pizza, okay, if we take a slice of pizza, well then that's going to be a part of a whole, okay, just one slice of pizza. Or again, if we have $100 in our bank account and we take out, like, $15 of our bank account, then $15 is a part of the whole $100 that we had in the bank account. Okay, so that's what a fraction really is. So if you see here, let's go to our handout here. We have, as you see here, we have 4 pieces of this circle. 3 of them are shaded in. So if we were to look at it from an objective point of view, I'm just going to go here. If we looked at this from a simple objective point of view here for the shaded part of the figure, then that would be 3/4. Okay, so 3 over 4 is what we have here. Okay, so 3 out of the 4 would be shaded. Let's look at the one here on the right. Okay, so we want to express this as a fraction here based on the shaded amount of blocks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 14 blocks here. Okay, so how would we express this picture as a fraction? I got 14 blocks total, so okay, very good. That's right, 8 over 14. Nice. Okay, good. Now, something that we're going to see later is, of course, taking this same 8 over 14 and re-expressing it in terms of its lowest terms. So this is not, like I said, 8 over 14 is definitely correct, but remember, we will also be able to figure out later on in a further section about how to reduce this down. In this case, we could reduce it down to 4 over 7. So that's certainly plausible here, just showcasing that a little preview about in that case. So how did we get 14 for the bottom? Okay, so the 14 part comes from the fact that we have a total of 14 blocks here. Okay, so when we talk about the total, what the total number of blocks that you see is going to go on the bottom here. And the number of blocks that are shaded is the number that's going to go on the top. So that's why we put 14 on the bottom. There are 14 total blocks that you see here in this picture. Yeah, 6 ads in a row and there's no way to skip. Oof. Brutal. Uh, I'll help with that. I don't know if I can help with that now, but can you hear my so can you see me now? All right, there we go. I'll show you a workaround after class. Okay, I'm gonna show you like I'm gonna show you a workaround after class for that. So yeah, I know that's really super annoying. So yikes. Okay, looks like the ad train is. I don't have control over the ads. Okay, so that's something that I have zero control over. I could put in an ad if I wanted to, but I have no desire to do that. Um, there's a slight workaround that we can go with. So after class, I'll let you know how to kind of work around with that. So sorry. Okay, so we have 14 blocks here, and 8 of them are filled in. So actually, since we got stopped here, are there any questions? Any questions so far? I didn't have this trouble in the first class. All right, I actually typed that out for this. So okay. All right. Next, let's talk about the parts of a fraction. Okay. Let's talk about the parts of a fraction. So the parts of a fraction here, specifically, let's go back to here. The parts of the fraction are going to have a top and a bottom. All right, so the top part here, I know, Rob. Okay, I know they're annoying, but like I said, we'll talk about it after class for sure. Um, so here we got a numerator here. Again, the top number here is the numerator, and we have the bottom number here, which is the denominator. Okay, so the top number here being the numerator, the bottom number here being the denominator. All right, so typically, so you say you have one number on the top, we have one number on the bottom. But again, the top number here we're going to refer as the numerator. Okay, so the top number of the fraction, and the denominator here is going to be the bottom number of the fraction. Okay, so that's again how we'll be referencing each one of the parts here of the fraction itself. Okay, now to go along with the two parts here of the fraction of a numerator and denominator, and I'm pretty sure you've heard those terms before, is we're going to talk about the two types of fractions we're going to encounter here in this chapter. The first one here is a proper fraction. Okay, and what is a proper fraction? A proper fraction says that the numerator is less than the denominator. So what's an example of a proper fraction? An example of a proper fraction is something like 7 over 12. So basically, as you see here, the numerator is 7 and the denominator is 12. So the numerator, 7, is less than the denominator, 12. So this would qualify as a proper fraction. All right, next example here would be, say, 6 over 11. All right, again, 6 is less than 11, so that would qualify as a proper fraction. Again, 6 being the numerator and 11 being the denominator. And I picked these two random numbers last class here. It says, okay, 19 over 26. Yeah, that still works. As long as the numerator is less than the denominator, you're good to go. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one here, because the next one here is actually rather important. Okay. We have improper fractions, which is the quote-unquote opposite definition. In this case, it says the numerator is greater than or equal to, okay, the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. And be very careful about the wording of this definition. It says the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. So what are some examples? 19 over 2 is a classic example. Okay, so the numerator is 19, the denominator is 2. Okay, so clearly the numerator is bigger than the denominator. 6 over 5, same reason. However, the one part that you do need to be careful about here is the or equal to part. That too qualifies as an improper fraction. So that's why you see here, if you have something akin to 4 over 4, now technically 4 divided by 4 is 1. We would rewrite that as 1. But it is an improper fraction if we do see the value of 4 over 4. Okay, so even this is an improper fraction because of the or equal to part of the definition. Okay. All right. Are there any questions about that so far? Okay. Let's look at some examples here. Really quick examples though. These ones won't take very long to do. Okay. Let's take a look here. Okay, real quick. Absolutely. We're going to be doing it right now, Samantha. How about 5 over 9? Is 5 over 9 a proper or improper fraction? Okay. A proper fraction. So you can add that to the list there, Samantha, is 5 over 9. That would be a proper fraction. All right. Okay, let's look at this one here. 9 over 7. So 9 over 7. Okay, so this would be improper. That's correct. Improper is correct, right? The numerator, 9, is bigger than the denominator, 7. Okay, so that's all we're comparing. The number on the top. I don't appreciate that language, my friend. I don't appreciate that language at all. All right, moving on. Five over 9 is a proper fraction. So 5 over 9 is not improper. 5 over 9 is proper. Again, 5 is less than the 9. So the numerator is less than the denominator. Yeah. And the opposite here is like, again, 9 is bigger than, 9 being in the numerator is bigger than the denominator, which is 7. How about this one here, 3 over 3? Is that proper or improper? Yeah, improper, right? They're the same number here, so based on the definition, improper is correct. Okay, good. Nice work. Okay, any questions about that first section there? That one there, pretty easy basis there, so not doesn't require too much. Nah, nah, bruh. All right. No. All right. Okay, next we're going to go into section 2.2 talking about mixed numbers. So in this section here, we're going to discuss what mixed numbers are, okay, and how we can relate those to the fractions that we talked about here in that first section. In this particular chapter, we're going to be using a lot of improper fractions. So it's very important for us to know how to, again, how to convert improper fractions appropriately and know how to read them. As a lot of, like I said, some operations are going to require require mixed numbers, pardon me. So we're going to take a look on how to change it to, say, an improper fraction and be able to revert back from an improper fraction to a mixed number. Okay, so let's take a look on how this works. Okay, so let's go back to our little document here. So looking at mixed numbers here, what does a mixed number look like? Okay, the mixed number here looks like this. All right, it looks like this. It looks like 6 and 3/5. Okay, for example, is an example of a mixed number. Okay, and we can rewrite 6 and 3/5, for example, as 6 plus 3/5. Okay, now we're not going to get into the addition here in this case, that'll be later on. But we're going to, you can't hear me now? That's kind of strange. Let me check my volume settings. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. My volume's okay, so just checking that. Hopefully that'll be better there. All right. Let me go ahead and move a little forward here. So, all right. So again, 6 and 3/5 can be rewritten as 6 plus 3/5. But as I was saying, addition is not something we're going to be talking about today. We'll be talking about that later on here in chapter 2, though. So we're going to see how addition works with fractions and whole numbers and things like that. And that's for sure. But let's take a look at each part here. So first and foremost, 6 is the whole number here. Okay, so we're going to be referencing the whole number. 3 here is the, what? Okay. Interwebs. Uh, okay, I'm back. Can you guys see and hear me? Sorry about that. It kind of it kind of crapped out there for a second. Apologies about that, everybody. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry. Yeah, it crashed for me too, actually. So I don't think that's a you problem or a me problem. That might be a server problem or something. So yeah, don't worry. That's not any of your faults. Mine crashed for me too. So just to be perfectly transparent.